Well, the 1941 to 45 Jeep MB was an incredible vehicle. It was designed from government specifications, really. The government came to the manufacturers, said, we're looking to build a light reconnaissance vehicle, a cross between a horse and a motorcycle. Willys would produce over 360,000 of those vehicles during the war, and they saw action on every front. And through the media, it really became evident to the people back home that this vehicle was something special. Before the war was even over, Willys was given the go-ahead to start building these. It was the first vehicle allowed by the government to be produced for civilian consumption. You can see it's got the slotted grille. Now, World War II, they were 9-slotted. Production, they became 7-slotted. You've got small headlights, fold-down windshield. This translated directly into the civilian version. It came straight from the battlefront to the home front seamlessly. The reaction to the Jeep coming to civilian market was immediate and kind of intense. In 1945, they got approval in July 17th to start building them. Not many people had money saved up at that point to buy vehicles, so they only sold about 2,100 in 1945. But for the 1946 model year, they've sold 71,000. It was immediate acceptance. They're very, very similar to the architecture of the original MB. They did make it a little more versatile. They added actually a folding tailgate where the World War II Jeep had a solid tub for a body. You now had a tailgate. And to have that tailgate, they moved the spare tire to the side. And then also there was an exterior fuel tank. It made it a little bit easier to pull up into a gas pump. The CJ2A came out with the name Universal because it was universally known and it could do universally every job. It's an interesting story how we got to the design of the 46 Willie wagon. Brooks Stevens, who became a famous designer, was a young man at the time, and so they actually brought him in during the war and said, we want you to design a vehicle for us. However, there's a problem. We don't have the stamping ability for the sheet metal. The thing was, Brooks Stevens was told he could only have a 6-inch deep throw on the stamp. So that totally dictated every panel, every shape, how far it could be stamped. You can really look at the whole roof structure and see it looks like almost an oversized refrigerator stamp. And it still retains that Jeep front end. And they actually painted it to look like a wood-bodied wagon of the time. It was a huge step in the automobile field to bring out a steel-bodied station wagon. Nobody had ever done it before. It had always been wood-bodies. What made it even more significant when they attached a four-wheel drive system to it. Nobody else had ever taken a station wagon, a 7-passenger station wagon, and attached a four-wheel drive system to it. The 1955 CJ5 was revolutionary into the industry. But you have to take a step back in the fact that that was developed for the Army for the Korean War. It was actually known as the M38A1. All the mechanicals were upgraded, but it also had a rounded, a more appealing look to people. It wasn't that crisp, hard military look. It actually looked civilian at the same time it was military. And the vehicle's amazing. It really captured the hearts and minds of people saying, wow, this is a fun vehicle. We can take this and go have fun. It was still marketed, for utility, the lumber industry, the forestry service, those kind of things. And it was so successful. It was built for almost 30 years, 600,000 over those 30 years. It's one of the best sold vehicles that we've ever produced. It was just really an incredible vehicle, the right vehicle at the right time. The 1963 Jeep Wagoneer is an amazing vehicle. It was a steel-bodied station wagon, but suddenly you had independent front suspension, you had an automatic transmission, which had never been mated to four-wheel drive, and you just had all these luxury items that were installed in a vehicle. All these things that people would expect in a high-end passenger car were now placed in what had been considered a utility vehicle, but could no longer be considered that. We really had to create the name SUV because it was now a sport utility vehicle. It broadened the market and really created a whole new class. In 1984, AMC Jeep brought out the Cherokee. This is a vehicle they've been working on for 4 years. It was really the first four-door compact SUV. There was a couple major things that they did. It was the uniframe construction, where the body and frame were actually welded together instead of bolting together. It became one package that was incredibly rigid and great for four-wheeling and off-roading, but they also brought out the quadra-link suspension. So that was an incredible step. It was a totally new vehicle and really created a whole new segment in the compact SUVs. The 1984 XJ really changed the entire industry and really created that market segment. There really wasn't anything in a four-door that fit there before. It also, we built platforms on top of it. We brought a pickup truck out using that same uniframe system. And so it was really revolutionary and kind of changed everything for the time. The Jeep Grand Cherokee was an amazing vehicle at the time. It was a vehicle that there was nothing like this before. It was compact-ish, but it was upmarket. It had all the features that people were looking for at the time. Even though they didn't even know they were looking for this vehicle, there wasn't really a luxury or premium SUV on the market at the time. It came out with standard driver's side airbags, a lot of heated mirrors, temperature control systems. It was the first compact SUV to have a V8. So it was all brand new. It was so new we actually built a new plant for it, the Jefferson Avenue plant. Bob Lutz and Coleman Young, the mayor of Detroit, drove the vehicle from the plant directly to Cobo Hall, where the auto show is held in Detroit, drove it right up the steps and drove it right through the glass and into the lobby, and showing people we were breaking ground and breaking their stereotypes of what they thought an SUV was.
Landslide, wide-eyed, running to the ends of what? Name you, chain you, bottle you up and train you to be solid upright. But we can't run forever, there's spaces facing forward, but you're halted to the hearing. Landslide, wild child, turn your body back, say, I'm gonna do this way I want, never gonna look behind. When you show this, own this, run for cover, you're coming like a landslide. This is a crucible, and we'll switch you up. Circles by fire, and I ask him to be saved. And in your crucible, all is touchable. Burn away, only you remaining. This is a crucible, and we'll switch you up. Circles by fire, and I ask him to be saved. And in your crucible, all is touchable. Burn away, only you remaining. Wide-eyed on your body, back to what it gave you. Names do only what their meanings will be solid upright. You came in like a fury, and your purpose is a truth test. Ruthless, speak child, heart side, wild wise, seeing only half full. Bashful in the beauty, yeah, your arrows meet their mark. Every moment barely broken, woven deep into their cover.